Grab your snacks, clutch your pearls, and brace yourself because this ain't just reality TV anymore, this is emotional warfare wrapped in glam and fake lashes. The love and hip-hop universe is blowing up from the inside, and woo, it's hot enough to melt your screen. So let's start with Sierra, who's done playing nice. Sis is fed up, over it, and ain't biting her tongue no more. She's been carrying this tension with Spice for too long, and now she's finally letting it rip. And let me tell you, it's not just about some petty shade. No. This is about loyalty, double standards, and years of being silently disrespected. Sierra said she's tired of Spice acting brand new with her while treating Rashida and Yandi like royalty. Like, what's really good? Spice. And then boom, enter Bambi. You already know when Sierra and Bambi link up, the energy gets real spicy. Bambi's sitting pretty but she ain't sugarcoating a thing. She's calling it like it is. She's not here to kiss Spice's behind, or play the yes woman game. And you know what? We respect that. Because at the end of the day, being a real friend ain't about staying silent, it's about being honest, even if it's messy. And baby, this is messy. But wait, there's more, y'all. Jock out here playing part-time therapist trying to patch things up between Kirk and Mendeecees. And let's be real, that's a whole other dumpster fire on its own. These grown men are about to square up over loyalty, pride, and things left unsaid for too long. The tension, thick, you could cut it with a knife. Jock's just trying to set up a Zoom call to stop all hell from breaking loose. But knowing this crew, good luck with that. So now the question is, are we witnessing real healing or just another storm brewing before the next betrayal? Is Spice genuinely unaware of how she's treating folks? Or is this all part of a bigger Queen Bee play? And can Kirk and Mendeecees even share a conversation without flipping tables? Chilly, this is the kind of drama that'll have you glued to the screen, texting your girls, and yelling, "Did y'all see that?" So don't move, don't blink, because we're about to unpack it all, and trust me, it only gets deeper from here. Okay fam, let's walk into this like we're tiptoeing into a war zone, because the energy was thick. The looks were deadly, and the emotions were bubbling under every surface smile. Picture this, Sierra, sitting across from Bambi, eyes glossy but fierce, voice calm but trembling. This wasn't just some casual catch-up over mimosas. No ma'am. This was years of silent tension finally breaking the surface, like a volcano erupting after pretending to be dormant. Sierra leaned in, hands on her lap, shoulders stiff. Like she was holding something in, but we all knew that lid was about to fly off. She started with the calm before the storm. I miss y'all, and I'm glad me and Randy are in a better place. But then, boom, the turn came quick. Her voice cracked just a little when she brought up Spice. I was low-key, salty after the retreat. She said, it just felt like. With Spice, she does this weird stuff. And just like that, the gloves were off. You could feel the shift. Bambi's eyes widened like, here we go, and the air got icy. Sis didn't stop there. Sierra went in. She said it felt like Spice was targeting her, giving her cold shoulders. Sneak disses, sideys, while still smiling and hugging Rashida and Yandi like they were her long-lost sisters. She don't do it to them. Sierra snapped. She don't do it to Rashida, she don't do it to Yandi. But with me, it's always some off energy. And Bambi nodded like she'd been holding this in 4 months, maybe years, because sometimes all it takes is one person being brave enough to say it out loud. Now pause. Imagine being in that room. Imagine the tension pulsing between their words. The betrayal hanging in the air like a perfume you wish you could wash off. This wasn't just about Spice being cold, it was about Sierra realizing that maybe, just maybe, her loyalty hadn't been matched. That her smile had been met with shade. That her silence had only enabled someone to treat her like an option. Bambi, never one to sit back and sip tea quietly, jumped in. See, that's the thing, I'm not a yes man, she said, firm, her voice cutting through the moment. I ain't gonna fake it with Spice. If she ain't gonna be a real friend, I'm not about to keep kissing her ass. And listen, that right there. That was the line. The moment that shifted the vibe from venting to vows. Like they were both drawing a line in the sand. Bambi wasn't playing politics. She was fed up, and ready to burn bridges if they weren't built on realness. And let's talk about how real this felt, fam. Because we've all been there. Being around someone who treats everyone else like gold, but serves us scraps. That quiet feeling of being tolerated, not loved. Of being invited, but not embraced. Sierra's words weren't just tea. They were the truth. And when she said, "I don't want to talk about Spice. She not gonna be my real friend," it wasn't petty. It was pain. It was heartbreak. It was someone choosing their peace over fake proximity. But that wasn't all. Sierra dropped a whole bomb when she exposed how she thought Spice might be trying to stir up tension between her and Rashida. "Spice is instigating," she said. "She wants to create a little rip between me and Rashida." That's when things got icy. Because fam, we're not just talking about distance, we're talking manipulation. Sierra wasn't just hurt, she was waking up, realizing that her friendships had layers she hadn't seen, that some connections might have been puppeteered from behind the scenes. And while Sierra was peeling back emotional layers, elsewhere in the city, Jock was on his own mission. Yes, Jock, the life of the party turned peacemaker. He knew the vibe between Kirk and Mendeecees was spiraling. Words were flying, misunderstandings brewing, and tensions starting to hit boiling point. And he just wanted to fix it. "I don't care if it's a Zoom call," he said, pacing like a man desperate to stop a storm. "We gotta talk this out before it gets worse." You could see the strain in his face. This wasn't just gossip for him, it was brotherhood, breaking apart. Jock knew both men too well. Knew how pride, ego, and old wounds could twist good intentions into cold wars, so he stepped up. "We gotta figure this out before we trick ourselves into a bad spot." Woo. That line hit hard, didn't it? Let's pause again. Because we need to talk about what's really going on here. Sierra's confronting emotional neglect, Bambi's declaring her independence from fake friendships, and Jock, he's trying to stop a man-to-man fallout from blowing up the whole crew. And while they're all doing that, what's Spice doing? Quiet, absent, still the eye of the storm. The one no one wants to confront directly, but who everyone's energy keeps circling around. Back to Sierra, she's raw now. The retreat, the weird vibes, the accountability Spice never seems to get. She's venting it all. But here's the thing, sis didn't just want to scream, she wanted clarity. "I do want to clear the air with Frost," she said, "but not today. Not now. I'ma just keep it cute, ignore them, and circle back later." And honestly, that's growth. That's maturity wrapped in frustration. That's someone choosing timing over tantrums. But make no mistake, that storm is coming. And when it hits, baby, it's gonna shake the whole table. Meanwhile, over at Jock's place, the male energy is getting just as heated. Scrappy had told him flat out, he was tired of Mendeecees letting Yandi say whatever she wanted about him with no pushback. And Jock felt that. He saw how lines were getting blurred, how drama was spilling into places it shouldn't be. "Tell them to stop bringing it to us," he said, "and fam, that's real. Because sometimes the best thing you can do is draw a boundary and say, enough. This ain't just a reality show anymore. It's a masterclass in emotional chaos. It's about friendship dynamics that mirror real life. The fakeness, the passive aggression, the backhanded comments dressed as jokes, we've all felt that. But what makes this mess so magnetic is the fact that these people know better, and still choose the drama every single time. And don't even get me started on the fact that no one's really confronting Spicehead. Unlike, are they afraid of what she might say? Are they unsure if it's worth it? Or are they just letting her be the queen of silent chaos? Because, as long as she's left unchecked, the vibe will always be off. And Sierra, she's finally seeing it. This ain't over. In fact, it's just beginning. Alright fam, now that we've unpacked the emotional bomb Sierra just dropped, it's time to pull back the curtain and really zoom into the aftershocks this whole mess has sent through the cast. Because baby, the fallout, it's not just whispers behind closed doors, it's full-blown emotional tremors shaking the entire love and hip-hop landscape. And you best believe, no one's walking away untouched. Let's start right where we left off, Sierra choosing to keep it cute and ignore them for now. But sis, that silence, that's the loudest scream of all. Because Sierra may not be yelling in the moment, but that restraint, that's coming from a woman who's had enough. Who's been burned before? And instead of letting the fire consume her again, she's choosing to watch, to observe, to remember. And let's be honest, that kind of calm, it's scarier than rage. That's the kind of calm that shows someone's really done. Behind the scenes, folks are shook. Rashida's apparently confused, like she didn't know there was all this tension brewing. Word is, she thought things were cool, that the retreat helped reset the vibes. But turns out, the retreat was just a mask. A temporary peace treaty signed with fake smiles and forced hugs. Whew, the kind of peace that breaks the moment you pack your suitcase and step back into real life. And let's not forget Bambi's emotional state. Y'all, she's exhausted. Tired of being seen as the villain just because she won't play nice for cameras. I ain't kissing nobody's ass, she told her girls. I've done that before, and where did it get me? Heartbroken, isolated, and called messy. Bambi's in her reclaiming her power era. She's no longer filtering her truth to make others comfortable. And honestly, we love that for her. But then here comes the backlash. In true reality TV fashion, the group chat starts lighting up. Castmates are choosing sides. Some think Sierra's being overly sensitive, while others say Spice has been moving funny. Sis, you'd think the group was back in high school the way everyone's whispering and watching stories like hawks. Emoji eyes, subtweets, soft blocks. It's all happening. Even production staff low-key noticed how cold things got on set. 1 minute people were laughing during mic checks. The next, cold shoulders, awkward silences, and sudden bathroom breaks whenever certain names were brought up. Meanwhile, Jock is in his own emotional blender. He's trying to be the grown one, the one who bridges gaps instead of throwing hands. But let's be real, fam, playing peacemaker ain't easy when the people you're trying to help keep throwing jabs at each other behind your back. Word is, after he had that little chat with Kirk and tried setting up a chill sit-down, Mendeecees straight up ghosted, didn't respond for days. And when he did, it was one-word answers and dry, "We'll see" energy. Jock knew right then. This wasn't gonna be some smooth kumbaya moment. This was war in slow motion. Now let's dive into how Kirk is processing everything. Y'all know Kirk, he's not exactly the most emotionally expressive guy. But folks around him say he's been low-key bothered, not because of Mendeecees' shade, but because he's realizing his own circle is cracking. He told a close friend off camera, "We too grown to be acting like this. We got families, brands, legacies. This petty *** tea ain't worth it," and, honestly, he's not wrong. But when egos and pride get tangled, even the most mature man can find himself right back in the mess. Then we got Mendeecees, who's been real guarded lately. You know how some folks get quiet when they're processing? That's him. But don't confuse silence for weakness. Mendeecees is calculating, watching, deciding who really got his back. He said something that really stuck with one of the producers. "I ain't trying to beef, but I'm not about to keep being disrespected and pretend it's love." Oop. Sounds like shots fired to me. Behind the cameras, producers are licking their lips because they know this tension, this emotional lava. It's what makes episodes explode. But for the cast, it's very real. It's not just storylines, it's relationships. Years of history being tested under the lights. And it's heartbreaking to watch bonds dissolve under the pressure of cameras, clicks, and closed door whispers. Now y'all, let's pivot back to Spice. Because this whole narrative is swirling around her, and yet, she's quiet. Too quiet. And you know what they say when someone's that silent in the middle of the storm? They're either plotting or numb. Word is, Spice knows what's being said. She's seen the clips, read the subs, felt the shift in the room, but instead of clapping back, she's keeping her energy reserved, like a lion watching from the tall grass. Folks close to her say she's over the drama and is choosing to protect her peace. But others, they think she's dodging accountability, that she knows she's been cold, but refuses to own it. One insider even spilled that Spice had a convo with Yandi and Rashida recently where she basically said, "If they got a problem, they can come to me. I'm not chasing no fake friendships." Gagged. She's doubling down, y'all. And that's sending a message louder than any confrontation could. She's not denying anything, she's just refusing to care. Meanwhile, fans online are split, right down the middle. Twitter is a battlefield. One side saying Sierra's finally standing up for herself and calling out fake vibes. The other side saying she's too emotional and needs to stop reading into everything. Some say Ben, the only one keeping it real, while others swear she loves drama. TikTok edits are flying. Fan pages are picking sides like it's Real Housewives. And y'all, the YouTube reaction videos. They're eating this up like popcorn. People are going frame by frame analyzing every eye roll, every body movement, every sigh. Because when women like Sierra, Bambi, and Spice move, they move with energy, with intention, with emotional realness. And that's what keeps us hooked. Back in the group dynamic, everyone's walking on eggshells. Production is scrambling, trying to schedule group scenes without making it awkward. One assistant producer even joked, "We need a therapist on payroll at this point." Because these aren't just characters anymore, these are people hitting their breaking points. And let's not forget how emotional it's been for the viewers. Because we see ourselves in these women. We've all had a spice in our lives, someone who we bent over backward for only to be met with indifference. We've been Sierra, overthinking, overgiving, and finally hitting the wall. We've been Bambi, the truth-teller, who gets painted as aggressive because she refuses to be fake. And in Kirk and Mendeecees, we see our homeboys, our uncles, our men, struggling to communicate through ego and past pain. This is deeper than drama, fam. This is real-life healing on pause, friendships dangling by threads, pride holding people back from saying, "I'm sorry," and love. Real, sisterhood-type love. It's being smothered under layers of passive aggression, silence, and emotional exhaustion. So where do we go from here? Will Sierra confront Spice face-to-face? Will Bambi find peace outside of all the drama? Can Jock actually get Kirk and Mendeecees in a room without it turning into a shouting match? Or are we just watching the beginning of another emotional war that no one's ready to fight? Sis, this is the kind of drama that changes things, that reshapes friendships and shatters illusions. And whether you're Team Sierra, Team Spice, or just Team Get It Together, one thing's for sure, this ride ain't slowing down anytime soon. Who, fam? Take a breath. Let that sink in. Because what we just witnessed wasn't just gossip, it was emotional warfare dressed in lace fronts, luxury bags, and fake smiles. The shade, strategic. The silence, loud, and the heartbreak, real as ever. From Sierra's breaking point to Bambi's bold boundaries. From Jock's emotional cleanup mission to Spice's chilling silence, this episode gave, but now we gotta talk. Like really talk. Because y'all, this drama hit different. Let me ask y'all this. Do you think Sierra is finally seeing through the smoke and mirrors, or is she projecting some old wounds onto Spice? Is she being petty or protecting her peace? And what about Bambi? Is she the only one brave enough to speak truth in a room full of masks, or is she stoking the fire with that no-holds-barred energy? And then there's Spice. Who, sis? Is she being unfair and cold, or is she simply drawing boundaries the best way she knows how? Do you think she owes Sierra and Bambi a real talk? Or should she stay unbothered and let them come to her? Oh, and let's not forget the men. Do y'all think Kirk and Mendeecees can actually sit down without ego hijacking the whole conversation? Or are we headed for another explosion before anything gets resolved? Jock's out here trying to be the therapist of the season, but is anyone even listening to him? Or are they too far gone in their feelings? Fam, I need y'all to sound off in the comments right now. Drop your rawest, realist opinions. Whose side are you on, and why? And let's be honest, how would you have handled it if you were in Sierra's shoes? Or Bambi's? Or even Spice's? And if you're feeling this deep dive tea-spilling roller coaster, do me a favor, hit that like button so hard it feels it in the next episode. Tap that subscribe so you never miss another moment of unfiltered, behind-the-scenes, emotionally charged drama. And baby, don't forget to hit that bell, because this saga, it's just heating up. New truths are coming. New confrontations are bubbling. And trust, you do not want to miss what's next. So go off in the comments, sis. Speak your truth. Pick your side. And remember, on this channel, we don't just watch the drama, we break it all the way down. Period.